the president, and I was lucky enough to get VIP, and I really wanted to get a vibe, not only feel the crowd, which brought me to literal tears of the amazing, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was moved. I mean, the mood among the crowd was just pure elation. I mean, everybody was there for a common goal. Everybody could just feel the love for the President of the United States. Donald Trump is an incredible man. And knowing in that moment that we were so close to, either just incredible greatness or just incredible tragedy, it was very moving for me. And, I loved it because people were absolutely silent the whole time he was speaking. I've never seen a crowd that size just completely quiet down and hang on every single word he said. It was a historic moment, and everybody that was there for the right reasons absolutely knew that. And, something you cannot duplicate.
We knew that. Also, if you consider being in prison, like, house arrest and these lockdowns and every conservative event, because, again, I thought it was a Democrat. I'm originally from Canada. Mm-hmm. Just so happy to see maskless, fearless people that stand for good. Mm-hmm. And, I filmed a little clip leaving, and I was like, Joey could only wish to get a fraction of these people. Let's face it.
There's no possible way.
So, and I got a vibe from President Trump, which was, I read people, and it's not an evil man. I wouldn't put it past him that the intel officer we spoke to said Trump was an operation. He was playing himself, and a lot of things came to the surface. I hope that he comes back in some way for whatever reason. I think also the more they hate him, the more I feel dislike. I don't want to hate. I don't even hate the left. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
So, and it's like, I brought up this point, Zach, like, okay, deadly insurrection. When is it okay for an insurrection when the government has been unconstitutional and we've been living under arguable tyranny? Mm-hmm. So when do the people get to speak? And we had our chance, and now if it's going to turn into a police state, forward to the Great Reset. So we feel like, let's keep fighting. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm censored. Mm-hmm. I will not stop fighting. I'm a fighter. From the get-go, I was born. So because I had the cord around my neck and my heart stopped twice, and I'm here, and it's for a reason. A lot of us feel that we're here for a reason. Anyway, so coming back from that, feeling like I got trapped, and then Zach saying we're hearing this, and I'm like, okay, well, let me look as a journalist, and I came across this lawsuit, and I prefaced that I don't know if it's a company called US of A or if it is really US of A. But the more I dug, there's a lot of merit and context just educating us about the delineation between the corporation and the republic, and the role of the Vatican, the role of the cartels, the banks. So really also as a Canadian learning more about the Constitution. So it went supposedly viral. It went somewhere, went to APN. And then the next day, Zach said, oh, Nick, no, he sent me this. Because I'm like, where's the proof? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what I found that. So we looked at it, and I spoke to the lawyer, and they're painting this person, well, as a felon, this woman, this Shakina woman. And you also have to look at what the MSM is telling us. But she's saying that the country's been bankrupted $282 billion, to the people. Shekinah means dweller of the divine. And she says this person knows a lot about our rights. So then there's a letter that I found that is supposedly from President Trump.
Yes, let me go ahead and show that. Now, okay, so this, and let's just summarize this real quickly. So this is supposedly a bankruptcy case for the United States of America Corporation. It's listed in, it's registered in Florida. but we've been able to track it back to 1925 and to 1902. Now,
And to
Miriam,
Delaware.
yes, and to Delaware and to New York. Delaware is a very common place for people to have shell corporations placed. There are multiple registered agents that are set up for it, or I guess they would be, I don't know what they're called for a corporation, but registered agent is for an LLC. So, so there is some history to this particular corporation. And Miriam, you said that when you looked into it, that address, that 1201, whatever it was in Florida, that address is registered to a roofing company. Is that correct?
Yeah, I posted that in my drop on Telegram too. That was like, oh, that's odd. I also found it odd that there's a lot of DBAs that happen to be Chinese. And then when I was looking at the articles of incorporation, it's a document that goes through all the DBAs. So that showed a 1925 the company called United States. And then it showed that the Lee family was behind these DBAs, China Teletech. And it so happened that when Zach was speaking to the intel officer, we learned that the Lee family is connected to the Rothschilds.
Really? Well, that's very interesting.
That was very interesting that it's on this document. It so happened. And I mean, okay, Lee is like Smith. Okay.
Right.
Sure. But it's also a powerful family dynasty. So am I able to see what you're showing? Are you showing people?
I'm just showing them us at this point, but let me show this article, and every time I start a Zoom call, my camera placement gets off over on this other screen, and then let me reset the Safari. There we go. All right, so here, yeah, I have a Mac. So, okay, so this on screen right now, I can't show you, Miriam, but I am showing the letter which says that it's signed by Donald Trump. Okay. Now, we have no way of verifying whether or not. Yeah.
I could tell you that the lawyer said that exactly that. He can't verify it. Now, it is submitted as evidence and is in Pacer. The case, you can share it with people. I purchased the documents. I've been registered there. I want to get to the letter. So the other person implicated, along with Shanika, is another guy that I think is in prison. She was in prison. Her son has been in prison. Today we both found out, like, isn't it interesting that today there was a filing that this was filed. It's a case that started in 2014, was reopened conveniently in October, and then had another filing November 23rd after the election, then another one yesterday, and then another one today, calling her a vexatious litigant. Yes. What is that? Yeah. So a vexatious litigant is someone who basically is obsessive about litigating and is no longer allowed to.
Yes, yes. Right? Now, she's associated with the Moore Society. Yes. JR said that they are crazies. I don't know anything about the Moore Society. But so he said that she had multiple handwritten litigations filed in U.S. Supreme and Florida Circuit courts alleging all kinds of crazy BS. However, if you look through the, 74 pages or so of the actual filing that she actually brought to court, I mean, a lot of the stuff, I mean, I would say the vast majority of it is real stuff. I mean, she's actually
historical facts about this country. And you can say, Shanika, something with the Kabbalah. We know now, we've seen enough smear pieces about our own selves that we know how we can be painted. So just take that audience into account, just as food for thought. And regardless, I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And there's a lot of things in here that it can educate us in this quest. Now, I'm still looking for a deed, still looking for a bankrupt. It's kind of clunky to look in Pacer because it's United States of America, like the whole country, how many suits are going to come out. I did look specifically under bankruptcy, and we can continue to look, but the thought is, if this is in foreclosure, then that makes sense. We know it's a company, and there's also a republic. And this document, I think I told you, Zach, like around 68, it starts, or maybe before, it starts talking about, it talks about the United Nations. So just to talk about this, the Trump letter, that, oops, 1 second, that there's a part that I highlighted. I'm trying to get my...
Ooh, somebody in the chat says that they think Twitter nuked Gab's account. That would be actually not surprising. And then it looks like many people were saying they all got logged out of Facebook. Perfect opportunity to just delete the app off your phone.
Right.
However, I would recommend that you delete all of your personal data, or at least change it to screw them up before you just delete the app. But definitely get out of Facebook. As long as that's on your phone, you guys, they will go ahead and use all of your information. Hold on a second.
Okay. I have it queued up too. Okay.
All right. So, so the letter from Donald Trump, supposedly, and again, this is not confirmed to be real, says, regarding U.S. federal person Roger Allen Moore. Do you know, did you figure out who? No? Okay. Because they give his, it says that he's deceased, and we have a social security number, 126-562-303. See United States Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service Forms 2848, Power of Attorney and Declaration of Representative, and 56 Notice of Fiduciary Agent, sent December 1st, 2019, via United States Postal Service, certified mail, and then we have a number, to whomever United States business entity this may concern, who commercially operates on United States public markets and accepts and or exchanges in United States currency while providing goods and or services to U.S. customers, consumers, and everyday commerce. The above-mentioned U.S. federal public person has a prepaid, non-obligatory commercial debt obligation arrangement with the United States in relation to 12 U.S. Code, etc., regulation of transactions in foreign exchange of gold and silver, property transfers, vested interests, enforcement and penalties, Part 2, and the public policy on U.S. debt. Your business entity is federally bound to United States and U.S. public debt obligations by way of your Internal Revenue Service employer identification number and your Federal Reserve bank account number. And then it continues, your business is hereby ordered to itemize and whatever and however many commercial products and or services in which the above U.S. federal public person wishes to commercially acquire, adjust the bottom line cost amount to zero and release the items, provide a receipt to the U.S. federal public person by way of its duly authorized representatives, and that's Raj Rafa L. Sue Juris. Do you know who that is?
No, I didn't.
No?
Get it. I found this last night. And
yeah. Okay.
So I want to. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
The part that I highlighted is that President Trump is saying what the bankrupt United States owes its true creditors, which is the American people, in direct relation to the borrowed gold and National Banking Emergency Act of 1933. Mm-hmm. So, regardless, again, the point is this country bankrupt. So there is the question that it's fraudulent and it's not really Donald Trump. I wonder if you're submitting something to the courts, I guess they don't check the validity even if it comes from the President of the United States. That
would so surprise me. If I was a judge and I had as part of the evidence a letter from the President, apparently, that's the kind of thing that you would want to go ahead and verify. And it seems like it could be pretty easy to verify. If that's a pen ink signature, take a look. But obviously, if this is a photocopy, then, but all we have are photocopies to look at. Now, the interesting thing that I was thinking about here is that, just because this case might be fake doesn't mean that something like this isn't actually in the works. And how many times have we seen the cabal inject something fake to obscure something that is real? You know, I mean, just the disinformation injected into the conversation so that when people talk about it, they can be like, oh, yeah, that's totally fake. Like, you know, hologram planes on 9/11. I don't know. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of theories about things. And quite often, I think that the people who are perpetrating actions and, you know, horrific events, they will inject some crazy theory. That, I mean, I'm sure many people actually believe that. I just use that as an example. So don't, you know, hate at me if you think that there were no planes on that day, because I really don't know myself. But
I call them tries.
What's that?
I call them tries, truth mixed with lies. And I think
There you go.
what we're learning is really a sense of discernment. I mean, you know, the Great Awakening is not really, I mean, it's not only about downloading cerebral knowledge. It's about really getting a sense, know thyself, learn about yourself, become a master of yourself. Do not allow these elitist, evil efforts take the better of you. I'm upset that I'm like heavier and I'm not like gyms are closed. I can't walk down the street. I'm like, oh, jewelry store is essential.